Sit right here.
What you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a football. I'm going to try to ask it,
All right, we're back. We have the second overall NWO Power Rankings.
Top 2.
Top 2. I have at number 2. I have New Rick, and you had him at 3 because you couldn't bear to put him in the top 2. He's never won a thing, and I agree. In his entire life, he's probably never won anything.
Well, he got a bye and lost his first playoff game, right?
I know. It's so sad because he was the top scoring team in the league.
What a pity.
What a pity.
What a pity.
So here's what it turns out. So as the season progressed and he went through his draft, he screwed up his draft decently. But his team still has, I mean, Dak has the number 1 defenses to pass against this year. Like, he has the easiest schedule. Have you seen this?
I haven't.
Dak Prescott has the easiest pass schedule this year. He was already QB2 last year, which I hate to admit as an Eagles fan, but he was. Miles Sanders, in my eyes, Miles is going to be a top 6 running back. He is primed. We have a top line, even after losing Brandon Brooks.
Yeah, but do you think Peterson sticks with just one guy?
I do. I think he... So Miles Sanders finished as a top 12 or something last year. Keep in mind, he didn't play the first 4 games. They didn't even run him. They ran Jordan Howard. They ran some other idiot that I don't even remember. And then they started playing Miles because he was a rookie.
Did they sign anybody?
No. They have Boston Scott, Miles Sanders. They might still have who's a summertime loser? Holyfield. Elijah Holyfield. So they have a whole slew of losers, and then they have a stud, and that's it. And then Boston Scott, who's on the block, by the way, if anyone fucking traded
Didn't
for
they
him.
kick the tires of, like, Freeman? Or
They did, and I think Freeman wants a little too much money. Back to Rick's situation, we talked about his running back situation, and his depth is amazing with Eckler, Fournette, Carson, Ito, possibly if it really falters, whatever, it doesn't matter. At that point, you have 4 really good running backs. And then you're looking at Godwin, DJ Moore, Galladay, and Metcalf and Gallup. I don't think anybody's deeper, and my team personally I think is amazing. I don't think anyone's deeper than Rick's team, just because he can take a couple hits, he can take a couple injuries, and he's not going to skip a beat. He's going to actually have trouble deciding which awesome guy to start.
right.
You get into the tight end situation. You talked about that. Ingram gets hurt every once in a while. Gesicki's lined up to start making their steps that he should have made 3 years ago.
Top 12? Top 15?
I think Gesicki falls in the top 15 easy. I think the top 12 is viable. I mean, why not? I can't name 10 guys that I would put ahead of him. I could probably name about 6 or 7. And then everybody else would be in his tier. And then
Would you rather have Jack Doyle or Mike Gesicki?
Ooh, with Phillip Rivers checking down, I'd probably rather have Doyle. But as a athlete, I'd rather have Gesicki. It's hard. It's a hard thing to explain. I'm going to go through Rick's draft here just because I'm going to do this quick because we just went over Rick. And he had Ayuk at 112. Justin Jefferson was still on the board, and we're going to hammer this point all day. 100 catches in the SEC. Why are you not drafting Justin Jefferson? He's going to get 1 million targets with the Vikings. Claypool, you don't like Claypool.
I don't like Claypool.
But other than Ebron, the Steelers have nobody to offer that has that big of a body. So, you look at maybe a red zone target kind of guy. I guess. What's going to happen with James Washington? What's going to happen with Deontay Johnson? You talked about they might not sign Juju back. So you got 3 guys ahead of you. He has a specific role. He's not like those other guys.
And they might move him to tight end at some point. So,
and they should. Well, they should.
Right? So Ebron signed for 2 years. You have Vance McDonald there. Maybe he ends up being a tight end down the road. But I don't know. I'm just not a fan. Big guy that can move real fast but just can't change direction.
Yeah. He did back up Eckler with Kelly at 3.9. I don't hate that. To your point again, Brian Edwards was still on the board. So at the end of the day, I gave New Rick a C+ for his draft grade. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. I like Ayuk. I hate that I have to trash Ayuk's draft. But whenever there's other players on the board that are better, I would rather go that route.
Well, and Ayuk's value goes up because of Debo's injury. So,
right, they're still talking about him being back for week 1.
Week 1?
Yeah.
I don't see it. But Ayuk, I don't know. They got a lot of like middling receivers there. So I don't think the opportunity is as big as what people think with Ayuk. It's you have a lot. Like I mean, you still got what's Doug's guy?
Dante Pettis.
Like, you still got a
Pettis.
guy like Dante Pettis there, and Jalen Hurd.
I think Bourne is a better
Kendrick
option
Bourne.
than Pettis.
Right. So you got a lot of like just middling receivers there. So I don't think the opportunities as like I don't think he just steps right in.
Well, you said the
Unless
word
Debo-
middling. I think that means there's opportunity for somebody to kind of show up. And
Maybe. I can't argue that.
So who did you have at number 2?
Well, I had myself at number 2.
You would.
Again, it's easy. These videos get a little bit repetitive because we just talked about the same 2 teams in different order last time. But I don't know, man. I just feel like last year's inconsistencies, I had a quarterback and tight end. I filled those needs to compete. And all you got to do is get into the playoffs. So getting Breeze, will trading McCaffrey come back to bite me? I mean, like, I don't think anybody else in the league would have traded McCaffrey. I think I'm the only guy in the league that probably would have traded McCaffrey.
Nobody's doing that.
Right. So, like, does anybody else trade McCaffrey? Will that come to bite me? Maybe. I don't know. Saquon's great. McCaffrey's great. So, both the same age. I just
Well, I don't blame you. I mean, in your league that you just opened, the Dynasty League, I had an option of taking McCaffrey or Barkley, and I took Barkley because he's a year younger. He doesn't have the mileage on his legs.
Right, and everybody knows the stat about, like, once you get a certain amount of touches or finish as the number 1 running back the next year, how that kind of
Right,
bites
and what are the
you.
odds it's going to happen again?
So, but my wide receivers took a hit. Like we already talked about Keenan Allen. I mean, is Devontae Parker for real, or is he Devontae Parker every year sleeper Devontae Parker?
Is he the June
will
Devontae
Evans
Parker,
take a
or is he
hit?
November Devontae Parker?
Will Keenan Allen take a hit? Like, I don't know. Like, Keenan Allen is so vanilla that he might be the same guy just with a different quarterback. So, I don't know. I think I think I'm second. My draft was all value. We touched on my draft already. Mims at 2-4, I think is almost a no-brainer there. I mean, T. Higgins is there, though, so maybe T. Higgins at 2-4, Tua at 2-8. Get a guy like Breeze. Breeze will retire, and Tua just steps right in. So, and then just almost like the Harvey's factory, I have a wide receiver factory of Mims, Chenault, Edwards, and you got to hope 1 or 2 hit.
Right.
And if they don't, then they don't. I like Eno Benjamin. I think the Cardinals, if they were sold on Drake, they at least franchised him. They didn't even franchise him; they transitioned him. So they don't. I don't know if maybe they don't fully believe in Drake's ability. He has a relationship with Kingsbury already, so
I believe that too.
Maybe
I don't think
Eno
Drake's
gets-
never really carried the load anywhere
Yeah.
he was. So
maybe Eno gets an opportunity. Stidham. So yeah,
Stidham's not
I
doing it.
do
They just
think
signed
that
Cam.
Stidham will beat out Cam Newton.
Of course you think so.
I do
It's not
think.
happening.
I'm not gonna bet on it, but I think it might happen. I already bet on two things that are unlikely to happen. So,
Right.
so I have myself a 2. I give myself a B.
B. That's a good grade. I gave you a B plus, so you're a little hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself, Rick.
Well, I couldn't give myself an A. I didn't have a first round pick, so
All right.
I give myself a B.
So we're our top 3 are kind of consensus, just a little flip flopped. All right, we'll be back with the number 1 overall if you haven't figured it out yet.